Do you hear me, Sandy? Somebody's hidden.
Hey, I'm here.
Oh, I can't hear.
Sorry, crazy night. Connie had me on the phone. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 5 Weeks of Success Sunday night call, and we are on week 5. Woo! You survived. It's exciting stuff here. Okay. So tonight I'm going to do a share screen with all of you. And our topic this evening is customer service. So this is one of my favorite topics to talk about because I love to talk. So I love to do customer care calls. I know, hard to believe, right? Okay, so give me a minute because I'm not always good with this darn Zoom. So bear with me here. Let me do the share screen a minute. All right. Can you gals see this? Give me a head nod if you can, or a yahoo.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Woohoo! All right. I got to make sure you're nice and lively with me. It's, 9 o'clock on Sunday night. Okay, so here we go. Our topic tonight is customer care. Let's get this started. Okay, so what is, if everybody could just mute for me if you guys don't mind, then that way we don't get the background noise. At least for right now. Thank you. Okay, so what is customer service? So I found the definition of this. So it says, customer service is the provision of service to customers before, during, and after a purchase. The perception of success of such interactions is dependent on employees, which is you, who can adjust themselves to the personality of the guest. And I thought that this was just the perfect way to kick off our call tonight, because when we provide customer service, it is not just at the party or at the end. It's before, during, and after. And it is dependent upon how we basically mesh with our customers and all of our guests. Okay. So I want you to think about this. And if you want, you can unmute to answer, or if you just want to think about it, that's fine too. So I want you to think about, where would you be without any customers? Where would we be? What do you think?
Zero sales.
Okay, yeah, no customers, no sales, right? That's a problem. How would your business be different? Same thing, right? We wouldn't have sales. How can we ensure customer loyalty? Okay, so we're going to take a look at this. Why do we need our customers? Well, first off, customers will continue to give us sales. So for instance, just like Connie jumped off and she mentioned, so customers, yes, we want the same customers to keep coming back. We want them to give us our sales. We want those customers to then refer us to others. We want to have the same opportunity to work with them and with their friends and family members. Customers are also likely to host. So yes, we build a clientele. We start to get a customer base. We have a contact list in our contacts on our Pampered Chef webpage. But not only do we want to have those customers buy things off of us, we eventually want to build that relationship so that we move forward and those customers eventually become some of our hosts. And eventually, over time of asking those hosts, especially our repeat hosts who are our PC addicts, and we keep asking them, hey, you'd be really great at the business. You should think about joining my team. So eventually, our customers go from being those that are buying things to those who are hosting parties with us, to referring us, to eventually possibly joining our teams and then growing their teams. So it's all relationship buildings, but it goes and it stems one thing from the opposite, or one thing from one another. So how do we build customer loyalty and keep our customers? So I thought this image was perfect for this, because how do we build our customer loyalty? Well, we want to provide them the customer service, which is through our calls, our text messages, our Facebook messages. We want to provide them support, checking in. Do you know how to use your product? Did you get your product out of the box? Let me give you a tip or a recipe. We're providing support. Getting feedback from them. That's always great, whether it's positive or sometimes constructive, negative criticism almost. We want feedback so that we can make things better. We want to provide quality customer service and quality care for them. And in a sense, once we give them all of these different things, we're going to have a sense of satisfaction, and we're going to be rewarded in the sense of more sales, more bookings, and more referrals. So before our party begins, so, oftentimes I think we think customer service happens at the party and after the party, but realistically, our customer service begins the moment we book a party with somebody, because we're giving that care to our host. One of the things that I'm going to tell you that I think you should work on making sure you're doing is getting a guest list from every single party, every single home party you do. And honestly, your guest list for your virtual, you could literally just pull it up online based on who they invited, and now you have a guest list for the virtuals. You are going to, if you're doing virtual parties, you know which ones are interacting and which ones are not. There's actually a tab on Facebook that you could go on and look at to see the engagement of the party, so that you could see which people are actually participating or even just viewing what you're posting. So the guest list for both of these types of parties is going to be very vital for you. So for those people, if it's a home show that are RSVPing, you want to make sure that you show excitement to them ahead of time. By you having a guest list, it does not necessarily mean that you got to mail invitations. If you want to mail invitations, that's up to you. I personally send a text message with an invitation to my host, and then I have my host message it to everybody else. What I started to do is ask for the guest list with their contact information, so that way I can keep track of when the yeses are coming in, or the maybes, or the nobody's responding. Because if they say, yes, they're coming, and my host says, okay, Vanessa, well, Carrie's coming, and Connie's coming, and Wendy's coming, and Krista's coming, I could then look at their names, jot down a yes, and I could always throw them a little message that says, hey, Wendy, I'm so excited that you're coming to the party on, Saturday for Jill. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to try this new recipe out with you girls. It's going to be a blast. So showing them excitement even before, because it might excite them to even be like, oh yeah, I definitely don't want to skip out on that party. She sounds like she's glad I'm coming. I better make sure I show up. It also could build the excitement that says, wow, maybe I should bring a guest, because this sounds like it's going to be so much fun. Vanessa's crazy and she's already messaging me and I love it. So those are the beginning steps with customer service. For those who do not RSVP, so that the host does not hear from those people, you want to track them, because you never know. Number one, they may end up showing up at the party because they weren't really sure if they could come or not come, so they didn't really give an answer. The other thing you could do is, before the party actually starts, to send them a reminder. You already made an invitation if you did a text invite. Throw them a reminder. Hey, my name's Vanessa Boyle. I'm so excited about Jill's party. I'm just sending you a reminder. We would really love to see you there. And then for those who order, but you don't know. So sometimes we have parties, whether it's virtual or home ones, you'll get those random straggler orders in on the parties, but you didn't maybe personally meet those people. That is a great time, as soon as that order comes in, to throw them a thank you. You could include a tip or a recipe, and it gives you the opportunity to open the door to talk about bookings. So it's very important to send thank you messages to those people that ordered, and to try to build that relationship with them. And like I said, you could track all this on that guest list. If you're doing the virtual party, you could print that off, print screen it and make it smaller if you wanted to, but it's going to give you a way to track, and you'll also be able to see, okay, well, if I have a virtual party with 40 guests and 16 of them responded that they're coming, or 16 are engaged in the party, and then you see where the sales fall, it gives you a way to track your sales and see how many ideal guests you want on virtual parties also. So that customer care sets you up for other parts of the business. So now the party, okay, so now we are ready for the party to begin. So now during the party, this is the part where you want to try to sell yourself, okay? If you remember back to what the definition was of customer care, it's really about that relationships, and basically it is you selling yourselves to these people. By you providing customer care, and by you reaching out to people and giving them knowledge and giving them tips and helping them with that support, it's going to make it that they're going to go, wow, I really like that person. I definitely want to do business with them. Like, Carrie, wow, you have really been an amazing consultant. You told me recipes. I would have never dreamed of all the different versatility I could use this pasta maker for. I'm so appreciative. So that's what's really important for us, is to sell yourselves to these people. Be knowledgeable. Okay, during the party, you're going to want to interact with people. Your customer care starts as soon as those guests walk in the door. So if you're giving them a name tag, if you're just going to socialize with them, if you're standing off to the side and don't say hello to them, and then all of a sudden you kick off with your party intro, they're going to be a little skittish with you. You want to jump right in and interact with them. If it's a virtual party, jump right in and say, hey, I noticed, hey, Connie, I noticed that you're participating. I love this. Thanks so much for joining us on Jill's party. So making sure that you really give a warm welcome. Being knowledgeable throughout the entire party. Your customers are coming there, and I'm going to guarantee you 3/4 of them are either people that their husbands cook if they're women, because a lot of times they'll say, I don't really cook. Can I take the book home with me and let my husband look at it? It will be people that do not like to cook, that absolutely hate it, so they'll eat out. It will be people that never cook, so they don't even know how to cook or where to start. So by you being knowledgeable, you're going to be able to gear them towards products that are going to benefit them in their lives, okay? It's not going to be about making the sale. And I know as much as we all like to make the sale, sometimes it's just not about the sale. It's really, truly about the customer. If you focus that energy on those customers and what's specific to them that's going to make their lives better, you're going to get repeat sales. So don't go after just the sale. Offer recipes to support them. One of the things you could do is, if you want to, by giving whatever recipe you do at shows, give them a copy of the recipe. That's something you could print off or email it to them. At the end of the party, I often will then do a group email, which I'll talk about, but you can email all of them as a group and thank them for coming, and then send them the recipes from the night. So, giving them recipes to get going. Give them tips on other uses for their products. If you are not sure how to use a product that you're demoing, or even if you're not sure and you're at a party and somebody says, oh, I really like that new pasta maker, Krista, but what else can you do with it? And Krista's going, oh man, I don't even use that product. I have no idea. That's the benefit of our Peeps pages, because we could jump on and say, hey, what are some other ideas you have for this? Or don't be afraid to offer more tickets at your party and get other ideas going. When you're giving people tips and recipes, you're providing them with great customer service. And let them know you'll check in on them, okay? Don't make it like, oh my gosh, you're going to surprise them. Let them know, hey, you know what? Our customer service is not going to stop here. I'm going to check in with you from time to time. Make sure you first got your product out of the box. Then I'm going to make sure that you know what you're doing with your product. And then I'm going to check to make sure you like your product. So I'm not going away, okay? I'm not Walmart where you just buy and leave. I'm going to be your personal consultant where I can help you. And the fun part, now this is not necessarily customer service, but take pictures throughout the party. This is going to generate a lot of energy and make it fun. And then when you send that customer care thank you to the group with the recipes, send them the picture, because it's going to remind them how much fun they had at the party. And then they are going to be spinning their wheels going, ooh, I want to book a party. That was so much fun. But I want my friends there. Okay, so customer service after the party. So this is the biggie, okay? Sending a thank you. The other day, I sent a thank you to, at the end of every show, I send a thank you. And I'll actually show you what I do in just a minute. It's going to be coming up on the one screen. But I sent a thank you on a virtual party to somebody that ordered. And they messaged me back and they said, oh my gosh, this goes such a long way. I've never gotten a thank you from somebody on direct sales from a party. So just taking that little bit, and you could make basically just a note in your cell phones, copy and paste it, change the person's name, and send them a thank you. When you put their name in it, it makes it personal. So it's taking you literally a second to change the name. And you're only copying and pasting it. So it's constant repeat of what you're doing. But that little thank you is going to go a long, long way for you. Another thing that you could do, remind them then at that point of the host opportunity for next month. So whether you're at the end of the checkout or at the end of the party and you're kind of doing the checkout, so it's kind of like after the whole action of the party is over, or if it's 2 days after the party, let them know, hey, you know what, I noticed that you had your eye on, I noticed you really like that brand new quick cooker coming out. Next month, you could get that quick cooker for 60% off, but then give them the true value and let them know what they would pay at that price. So let them know. So one of the things you could do at your shows even is have a little note card and have everybody write down their name and their wish list items, and then you could keep them. So then that way, when we do have these 60% off months, you could call those people that had those big dollar products on their wish list. And then you have contacts always at your fingertips because you have all their wish list items. And then now you're making those customer care calls. And then they're going, wow, thanks so much, Wendy. You remembered to call me when you knew that I really wanted that quick cooker. And you remembered to call me to let me know when it was on special. Wow, thank you so much. I'm so excited. They're going to book parties when you do things like this. Send recipes used at the party. And I mentioned that before. This is another good time. Like if you specifically look at what product they ordered, sending them a more specific product or a more specific recipe to their product. So maybe you're demoing at your show the grill pan and you're using the rock crock, but then they buy a micro cooker. We'll send them a recipe for the micro cooker. Or maybe they buy the breakfast sandwich maker. We'll send them a recipe. It takes 10 seconds. Go on to Pampered Chef, have it on your phone, type in sandwich maker, pull up a recipe, and then just send them the link to it. It's not hard. It does take a second or two, but it's going to go a long way for your business. Again, send pictures from the party. If they are somebody that didn't put, maybe they don't have email, you know, you sometimes run into those people, but they might have a cell phone. Even if they don't have email, you can send them the pictures this way as well. Follow up with those who said yes but didn't attend. So back to the guest list, we always have those people that say yes, they're coming, and then they become a no-show. And then the poor house is going, I don't know, they said they were coming, and then they didn't come. Well, now this is an opportunity for you to still reach out and say, hey, you know, Krista, you told me you were coming to Jill's party. I just want to let you know we missed you so much, but don't worry, because here are the recipes we made. I would love for you to try them at your house with your family and give me some feedback on them. It's going to create that contact information with them again, so then it kind of reminds them, and then they probably are going to go, oh, you know what, I didn't make it to the party, this and this happened. I'm so sorry, but what's the link? I'll place an order. So it's always good to follow up with everybody from the guest list. And then send a link with a reminder to anybody that couldn't attend. So if you never got a no response from anybody, people that just didn't say anything, people on the virtual party who have not commented, aren't interacting, but yet they're invited, you could always just do something simple as, hey, Carrie's party is going to be closing on Friday. I know you were, if they were at a home party, I know you weren't able to attend, but if you were interested in supporting her, you could place an order. If it's a virtual party, you could do something along the lines of, hey, I know I didn't get to, you know, chat with you during the party. However, if you wanted to support Carrie's show, you could place an order for her. Here is the link. So just something to kind of open up those lines of communication with those guests. And always, always, always add every single person to Facebook. It's okay to be a Facebook creep if you need to be, okay? You're going to get to know them, especially if they host later on. You want to know what they look like, a little bit about them. So add everybody to Facebook. I go on, as soon as I have virtual parties and I have people participating, I'm like, friend request, friend request, friend request. And then they're probably going, crazy PC lady. And I'm okay with that. I really could sleep at night over it. I don't care. So don't be afraid to add everybody. If you add them before the party even starts, that could be a little borderline creepy. At least give it 24 hours that you're engaging with them on the party, okay? Or at least that you reached out in a text message of some sort. But make sure that you are adding those guests. Now, we had the before, we had the during, we have the after, but now we need that like after party. So we have our parties, and then what happens is that we go about our business and we move on to more parties. Or, I hate to call anybody out because I don't know if it's any of you, so if I do, please don't take offense, but sometimes we have people that go, I contacted everybody and I don't know who else to contact. Have you ever been there? I know I have said that line before. I don't say it anymore because I know better now, but we've all been there. We did not contact everybody because we have a system we can pull back up. It's called the 2 + 2 + 2. Every single guest on every single party is fair game to touch base with at any given time. But we want to communicate with them 2 days after the party closes. This is a great time to let them know that it closed up, make sure they enjoyed themselves. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. 2 weeks. Hey, did you get your product? Did the host hoard it and keep it? Did you get it out of the box yet, or did you plan to put it at the yard sale next month? You know, what are you doing with it? 2 months later, hey, guess what? Crazy PC lady, I told you I'd be back. I'm not going anywhere. I'm checking in on you. Just want to make sure that I'm helping you to the fullest. I'm not going to go away. Now, if they tell you no and they hang up on you like you're a telemarketer, you might want to make a note not to call them back. However, if they don't, you keep calling. Okay? You can even add on there another 2, the 4th 2, and make it 2 years later, because I do that too. I'm like, oh, it's been a while. I'm going to go back to my 2-year mark too. It's okay. All right. So I don't know if you guys can see this, and if you need me to, I can zoom in closer. But basically, I'm going to use my mouse so you can see it. So this is your summary sheet when you go to close a show, but you could actually see this even before you close the show. So what I do, because I'm kind of a systematic person, I need to have something in place for myself. I go into the party before I close it. I click the tab to review it. I print my summary sheet. I go back to my party, the guest list, and I write down everybody's cell phone numbers next to it. If they don't have a cell phone number, it's blank. That means I'm going to put their email in. So this was what I basically was working on earlier today. So I plug in their cell phones. Typically what I do is I click each of their names after their cell phones are listed, and I look at what they bought. And then that's when I message them their thank you and say thank you for ordering on Jill's party. And then I just track it. You'll see I have 3 columns: first call, second call, third call. What that really is for me is my 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. But I'm not trying to like recreate something. I'm not writing this all out. I'm not typing tons. That's why the show summary page is easiest for me, and I just stick them in a binder for myself. I also, now I'm creating a whole binder of contacts, and they're people I don't necessarily always know very well, but I'm going to make it a point to get to know them. So I write their phone number. I then send them a message, especially on the first one. And I always make sure on my first one to do a thank you now. And I change it over time, because I used to I'll be honest, I used to kind of jump into the booking a little early. What I've changed now, which has been way more successful, is I give them a tip about whatever product they purchased, or I give them a recipe. So I specifically look at what they ordered. It usually takes me, maybe for each text message a minute. So I might be looking at like 10 or 15 minutes at customer care for my first initial one. And then I program them into my cell phone and who they are and their last name. For the first name, I put their full name first and last. For the last name, I plug in whose party it was under. That way I remember that contact. When they call my phone, I kind of have an idea, or if they message me. So this is how I track it, and then I just take notes. So you can see like these 2 people booked parties for me, so I have little notes there. And then once I start these calls tomorrow, I put a checklist after each one, or I put notes next to it. And then this is just my system that I use that works for me for my tracking. It's been successful. It works. Am I always on the dot for 2 weeks and 2 months? No. But am I making it a point to do it the best I can? Yes. Because every time you're thinking to yourself, I'm out of people, you're not. Because if you have 10 people on a show, guess what? You have 10 more people to jump back and talk to again. And anytime you check in on somebody, they're not going to get annoyed with you. They're going to appreciate the fact that you care enough to make sure that they're using their product and know how to use it. Okay, next thing. You'll notice that I had 2 parties booked on there. I'm not done. They were just my 2 bookings I got so far from just my posts on my virtual. My goal is always to get 2 parties from every booking. And I'll be honest, I'm really like a stickler. I make sure I get 3, and I'll explain why I pick 3. So the company motto is you're not through till you get 2. And the reason being is when you book your first party from a party, it means you're just replacing that current party going on. When you book 2 parties, it means you're replacing it, and now you're also growing. So that means you're going to go one direction replacing, one to grow. If you don't get any bookings from that party, it means you're going to have to work a heck of a lot harder, and it means you're going to be out of business in 4 months. You really want to make sure you're getting 2 bookings. Now, I'm hard on myself, so I make sure I have 3, because if somebody cancels on me, now I got the backup party. So that's the way that I do it. I know anybody that's on my direct team below me will tell you, I'm a stickler that I tell them, cushion your virtual parties. If you want to do 2 virtual parties a month, no. You're doing 4, because you're going to cushion, because virtual parties, you never know how the people are going to be. Why am I bringing this up on customer care calls? Because customer care calls lead you to more of these bookings. So you might get 2 bookings, or maybe even 1 booking to start at the end of the party. But when you're following through on customer care, that's where you could solidify and get more bookings and seal the deal for all your contacts. You want to make sure you're getting those bookings. So here's an example, and I'll post this PowerPoint, but I wanted to kind of give you the word choice that you can use, because I know that this sometimes it's like, well, what do I say to people? How do I go about it? So this is actually an example directly from the company. So if it's 2 days after you might send this message, it could be a phone call, it could be a messenger call on Messenger, or it could be a text. Hi, Sue, this is Krista with Pampered Chef. I just wanted to give you a quick call to say thank you so much for attending the party the other night. It was so nice to meet you, and I hope you had a great time. Thanks for your order, too. If you have any questions about your products, please feel free to give me a call or send me an email. Before I put in have a great day, I give the tip or the recipe. So you do not need to recreate the wheel. This could be the wording you use, and then just add in a little tip, okay? And then, again, have a great day. Most of the time, you're going to get a message back from people that will say, oh, you're welcome. Or, you know, they'll say something, but it won't really be an open-ended like way to communicate with them. So then that's where it's our job then to kind of go further. So a lot of times on this statement, they'll say, oh, you're welcome. Thanks for messaging. So then that's when you'll say, by the way, I wanted to let you know our rewards for next month. I'm not sure if you're interested, but I would love to get you and your friends together. I would love to have you as a guinea pig to try new recipes for the fall. I knew at the party you had your eye on the quick cooker. I'd love to get it for you for $120 versus the full price. You know, you have to then work your way into the booking conversation. But my best bet or my best advice to you is start with just giving them tips. I think that will go much further for you. 2 weeks calls. So what does that look like? Hi, Sue, this is Carrie with Pampered Chef. I'm just calling to make sure you love the products you purchased from the party. I hope you've had a chance to take them out of the box and try them. If you have any questions or concerns, please call me back right away. I want you to be 100% satisfied. We do offer free return shipping with the first 30 days. And this is important to let them know, because they're going to go, even though they may not like their product and they want to return it, I always talk my customers into an exchange, not a return. So I'll say, oh, you know what, I understand, because not everybody's going to like everything that they bought. I mean, this is just the reality of it. We all return stuff. So your goal is when you do this, letting them know this, also letting them know that they can exchange it and help them with that. And again, you're making sure they got it out of the box. And this also offers that opportunity for you to talk about the bookings or recruiting if you want to offer them the opportunity to join your team, because you all rock and you want to grow your team. And maybe, let me see where my screen went here. There we go, 2 months. Hi, Sue, this is so-and-so this is Connie with Pampered Chef. I'm calling because there's always something exciting going on with Pampered Chef, like new fall products. I wanted to let you know that next month our host can purchase not the Rack Crock, because I'm totally selling the quick cooker next month. Right, girls? Right? Shake your heads. And you could gather all your friends, and I'd love for you to be a guinea pig. I have all these amazing new recipes for you to try. And then, of course, you could either use a spin-off. I'm really excited about the Healthy in a Hurry, because you could do the egg roll in a bowl next month if you wanted to. And it says, give me a call back. That's the only thing that I would suggest, is to give me a call back. What I usually say here is, I'll continue to call you until I hear from you. Maybe a little borderline creepy, but I wouldn't want somebody to keep calling me if I didn't want to talk to them. So I'm going to pick up my phone, because I just was ignoring it, but I heard them on the answering machine. So now I'm going to quick pick up when I hear this. So either that, or maybe at that point they're going to say, you know what, I will call her back. She said she's going to keep calling me, so I may as well touch base. So it's just truly you trying to provide the best customer service you can for everybody. Another thing that you could do is, instead of calling or messaging these things, a girl that I know, she actually sends a text message her the first 2 days call. The second one she does a video about, like, basically a video just saying the same thing, but it's a video of herself, because it kind of makes them wonder what she's sending me. And then she finishes with a text message. So if you don't hear back from them, usually if I don't hear back from them after the third call and I just don't get them, or the third text message, I kind of put them as like a bless and release. They're probably don't want to do business with me. I don't necessarily forget about them, but they're not the ones I go to first. I kind of work with the ones that want to talk to me and have answered calls and tips and tricks and stuff that I tell them. And the last part here is just some tips that I have for you. Always let your customer know that you're going to continue to call, just like I stated. Let them know you're going to keep calling. You want to make sure that they're satisfied. Let them know you want to uphold your commitment to them. If you are working this for a very business situation as far as like maybe full time, maybe you have a mortgage to pay. Let them know this is my full-time job, or this is my, this is my main source of income, and I want to make sure that I'm upholding my commitment to you so that I, continue to do well as a consultant and that my business can continue to grow successfully. Don't stop sharing about bookings and joining your team. On average, everybody, I looked this up. It's a statistic that you could research. Most people are asked 3 times before they say yes to something. Think of if any of you have children out there and how many times they're dragging or grabbing your leg and pulling your leg and going, please, 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 mommy, please, please, please. Those of you that give in, your kid probably asked 3 times or more. And that means we are not to be the nagging child, but asking them more than once, it plants seeds in them, and eventually they're going to bite on something. It's kind of like a fish. Eventually they're going to bite. A customer is never going to be mad at you for helping them. So when you call and provide tips and recipes, they're going to be grateful, not upset with you. And when someone finally does host, they're going to be grateful they finally gave in to that crazy consultant. They're going to love their rewards because Pampered Chef has the best host reward system ever. And they're going to love what they earned. And even if you had to ask them 3 times, they're probably going to sell something to their friends and get them to also book parties with you over time. So don't be afraid to do these customer care calls. And last but not least is your homework. So I'm a little challenger girl. So here's your challenge, ladies. You're going to watch a video on Claudia Bazaar, which I'll actually put the link on the page for you. She's phenomenal. It's a 2-minute and 39-second video, nothing crazy. She talks a little bit more about customer care. What I want you to do is something that's going to be systematic for you this week for homework. I'm giving you something that you're going to use all the time. I want you to create your system for tracking 2 + 2 + 2. So whether it's you printing off the page, if it's, we're done the 5 minutes, but I'll be done in 5 minutes. Just want to let you know. Okay. So whether it's you printing off your summary page, whether it's you writing everybody's names in a notebook, putting it in your phone, I want you to develop your system, because otherwise we fly by the seat of our pants. And when we don't have a system, we're not successful. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. So get your system down. I want to give you meaningful work this week that you're going to implement. So what I want you to do is, once you have a system, I want you to post a picture of what you're doing or a video explaining it. It's going to give you practice going live, but the reason being is maybe you're going to help somebody else on the team if they're stuck and they need ideas, and you're going to work together collaboratively. So post what you're doing. Maybe one of you will create a notebook. Maybe somebody's going to create a Google Doc. Maybe somebody's going to use an Excel spreadsheet. Maybe somebody's going to do something fancy on their phone that I don't know how to do. We'll share it. We all learn from each other, okay? It's a learning community. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to go back to one party, and I want you to print off your summary or do your system, and I want you to call every guest. I want you to do your first customer care calls for one full party, okay? So I know it's intimidating, but remember, you can text, okay? And then what I want you to do with that is just post your results. See, tell us if you got bookings. We're going to celebrate with you. Tell us if you got a recruit lead. Tell us if somebody hung up the phone with you and said you were a crazy PC person, okay? It's okay. Share that stuff with us too. It's funny. Then what I want you to do is work on customer care calls, which is what you're doing, but I want you to aim for 2 bookings. So basically the one that was just before taking that full party, your goal is when you take that full party and do customer care, get 2 bookings. That's what your goal is doing. You're going to aim for those 2 bookings with those customer cares. And make a dancing GIF, have some fun with it, post on there, make it fun. But basically, to sum it up, you're going to watch a video that's 2 minutes and 39 seconds. You're going to create your system that you're going to use and share it with all of us. And then you're going to work on doing those customer care calls and getting your 2 bookings from that party, because you're not through till you get 2. And then you're just going to celebrate. And then that way we can celebrate your success with everyone. So that's all that I have. If you are looking for more customer care support, PC University Training has a whole thing on customer care. You're going to see a lot of the same information that I talked about because it's systematic, and that's the system we all follow. You could also YouTube anybody. You could put in Pampered Chef Customer Care on YouTube, and it will come up with a bunch of different consultants and what they've done. But I guarantee you're going to hear a lot of the same redundant things, but sometimes we have to hear it a couple times, and that's okay too. All right. So that is everything. We are down to 2 minutes and 45 seconds on our call tonight. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you have fun with customer care calls this week.
Me too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.